Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Christ Psycho and today we'll be covering the CX9, a close quarters SMG with an extremely high rate of fire. We will be going over the weapon stats, viability, then provide builds for MP and BR. I can also purposely incorrectly pronounce this weapon's name 2 times, so that would be fun. The CX9 is a low damage weapon dealing 24 to 11 damage, which equates to 5 to 10 shots to kill, which is similar to the MAC-10 up close, but much worse at range and can feel like a BB gun when trying to stretch out the ranges. Torso shots will deal 1.1 times damage, which will give you the potential to 4-shot kill up close if you can land 2 torso shots, while leg shots deal 10% less damage. So, it will be in your best interest to aim for center mass for a faster time to kill. Just like most SMGs, the CX9 has low penetration, so you shouldn't go for wallbangs with it. Range values are also quite comparable to the Fennec, as the base 5-shot range extends up to 10 meters and the 6-shot range is up to 19 meters. It will then go straight down to a 9-shot kill, and anything beyond 25 meters will be a 10-shot kill. This means that you should never ever take fights outside of the first 2 ranges, as the damage plummets hard, which makes winning fights beyond close range very difficult. The fire rate is the 3rd fastest in the game at 1034 rounds per minute, which is slightly faster than the QXR with enhanced bolt, and makes missing shots very forgiving. This combined with the shots to kill means that it would usually kill in 232 milliseconds to 290 milliseconds, if you can keep its effective range, which is slightly slower than average for a CQC SMG, but it's still somewhat competitive. If you can get a 4-shot kill by landing 2-shot torso, you can kill in 174 milliseconds, which is insanely fast even for SMG standards. However, the time to kill beyond the second range will go straight to 464 milliseconds to 522 milliseconds, and that isn't even including the bullet travel time. Yes sir, this thing has bullet velocity, which takes us to our next topic. The CX9 is not a hit scan weapon, and the bullet speed is as slow as 450 meters per second, which is the same as the AS Val. This means that it will lose hit scan properties at a measly 8 meters, and hit registration will feel inconsistent outside of around 20 meters, further encouraging you to stay within close quarters. The bullet spread accuracy is expected for a CQC weapon, having a score of 4.48 on the 11-point scale, and its initial spread is 8.53. This is more than sufficient for its effective ranges, although it can prove to be a problem when trying to take longer ranges. Recoil is surprisingly low for a gun of this fire rate due to the slow climbing recoil. The actual pattern itself is also quite simple, with the first 15 shots going up with a slight lean to the right, while the remaining shots kick to the left. So controlling the recoil is a lot easier than something like the Fennec, and you can effortlessly make use of its entire effective range. The base mag size is very small at 20 rounds with 80 rounds in reserve. This combined with the fire rate means that you will have to reload after every kill and will be pretty much unusable without extended mags. Reload times are fairly average for an aggressive SMG at 1.27 seconds for its tactical reload and 1.39 seconds when reloading from empty. Handling is also pretty standard for SMGs, with its ADS and sprint to fire time making it 210 milliseconds and 130 milliseconds respectively, so you shouldn't find it too much of an issue in this department. Mobility is great for an SMG at 5.14 meters per second when walking and 6.68 meters when sprinting. This is identical to the Fennec, although its strafe speed is slightly slower at 4.01 meters per second, which is still excellent for an SMG. In terms of basic stats, the CX9 performs very similarly to the Fennec and MAC-10, with its excellent fire rate and mobility at the cost of poor performance outside of close range. But the CX9 has less recoil, and while having a close range time to kill potential that is more consistent than the Fennec. A fully kitted out CX9 will also generally have better strafe speed than the kitted out Fennec, although it will be slower than the MAC-10. However, the CX9 has bullet velocity just like the MAC-10, and even though it's faster, it is still slow enough to affect its consistency outside of close quarters. It also suffers from having a harsher damage drop-off than the other 2 weapons, while having a slower fire rate, which makes it a lot less effective when taking fights outside of close quarters. There is an ammo conversion called the 9mm hollow point 12-round mag, which drastically changes the damage profile and converts it into a 3-round burst with very predictable recoil. It will now take 3 to 6 shots to kill on average, which is a 1 to 2 shot burst, and its burst fire rate is the same as the base gun, although the burst delay is 138 milliseconds, which is almost the same as that of the chick guns. This means that it will kill in 116 milliseconds to 370 milliseconds, not factoring bullet travel time, which is incredibly fast and feels like an insta-kill if you can land a 1-shot burst. And this one burst range is quite impressive at up to 19 meters, so you will be getting one burst quite often if you can hit your shots and stay within the optimal range. It also boosts movement speed by 4%, which is a nice bonus. All this sounds really strong, but it's held back by its almost microscopic mag of 12 rounds, which means that you will be burning through your mags extremely fast and expect only to kill one enemy for each mag. It also has a very little reserve ammo at 48 rounds, so you will need to spend a slot on the full ammo perk if you don't want to pick up someone else's gun. This ammo conversion won't be a popular option since the lack of ammunition will make it very difficult, but it does have a lot of potential, especially in the hands of a player with good aim, as they can drop enemies really fast. Now that we've gone over the stats of the weapon, we can cover the builds, and we have 3 of them for the CX9. The first one is the balance build that focuses on improving its effective range by boosting the bullet velocity and the damage range while retaining some mobility. Start with the CX38E barrel for range, bullet velocity, and recoil control, tactical suppressor for concealment, CXFR stock to mitigate the penalties from the barrel, 50 round drums for the largest mag size, and CX9 ACE grip for BSA. You can also run tac laser instead if you don't mind enemies being able to see your laser when you're ADS'd. The second build is purely close quarters build for maximizing mobility to make use of its excellent close range time to kill, playing a lot like the MAC-10. Use the CX23S for sound suppression and ADS time, the CXFR stock for mobility, CX9 ACE grip for BSA, sleight of hand as it reduces reload time by a colossal 35% on the CX9, and finally, the 50 round drums. The last build is for those who want to run it with the 12 round mags, the CX38E for range and bullet velocity, tactical suppressor for sound suppression, CXFR for mobility and handling, and CX9 ACE grip for BSA. If you think you'll be going for longer streaks, use the full ammo instead. When it comes to its performance in BR, the CX9 is unfortunately not a very good option. While it has the potential to kill insanely fast at point blank range, it is not as consistent as guns like the Fennec and the Lapa, which have comparable time to kill. It also suffers from having the worse hipfire accuracy than your typical BR SMG, which makes it less reliable up close. So while it's decent and very much usable, it won't be the best option. The 12 round mags do help since the 3 burst time to kill is also very fast, but the puny mag size will make it near impossible to get any kills without a purple extended mod. And there are options with similar time to kill and no issues like the Type 25 with stopping power. But of course, if you do want to use this weapon, we recommend maximizing hipfire accuracy using the Merc foregrip, 5MW laser, and flash guard. Then use the 50 round drums for the largest mag size and the CX38 barrel for some range. The recommended mods are hipfire boost, long range, and extended mag. In summary, the CX9 is a weapon that lives and dies by close quarters similar to the MAC-10 due to its excellent time to kill performance and close range if it can land torso shots. It is also very easy to use thanks to its forgiving fire rate and low recoil. However, the lack of versatility from the brutal damage drop-off and slow bullet velocity brings it one tier below other top SMGs, since they can be used up to mid-range while still performing well up close. So even though the CX9 is not necessarily bad, it is far too niche to be able to compete with the meta SMGs. And that's all there is to know about the CX9. What are your thoughts about this weapon? Feel free to let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. CryPsycho going dark.